nervous at all? You're good? This is good?
I'm more nervous for what the heck you're gonna ask because like I don't even know what to expect. But that's just my nerves probably.
Yeah, I think you know way more than you give yourself credit for.
I don't know.
So I feel like
help me.
we definitely use it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Use it daily.
I feel like we use it a lot without even knowing that we use it, like
Dude,
especially nowadays.
Even over break, like in social situations, I'm using it all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's become like, instead of Google, it's like asking chat when like something comes up and then you're like talking to your friends about it. It's like, all right, let's ask chat. Like,
Yeah, I was just about to say, I like never use Google anymore.
Welcome everyone to the Context Window, the podcast that discusses AI, what it is, what it isn't, what it will be. Today we have three young guests, all college students. We're going to run through a bunch of different things from a college student's perspective. I prepared a list of questions for this group today, and we're going to start off with introductions. We'll go from my left, just a quick introduction, your name, what school you go to, if you want to talk about your major or anything like that, and then we'll jump into it. So go ahead and get started.
Hi, I'm Henry. I go to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, and I study electrical engineering.
Fantastic.
Hi, my name is Grace Munson. I go to Central Washington University, and I have not chosen a major yet.
Very good.
Sweet. I'm Jackson Green. I go to Fort Lewis College, which is a small school in Durango, Colorado. And my major is econ and marketing.
Econ and marketing. And what else do you do there?
What do you mean? I also run those here.
Other than party Sunday through Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No. I'm on the cross country and track team too.
Fantastic.
No distance running.
Fantastic. Well, welcome, guys. Today's going to be an interesting day. I'm going to start off our podcast, or this episode rather, with a question. It's a thought-provoking question. I'm going to, just so you know, I'm going to bounce questions off. We're not going to go left to right each time. I'm going to just kind of pick who starts, and then, just get a chance to say what's on your mind, add whatever you want to, and then, of course, this is a conversation. So it's not a debate, although it may turn into one, and that's okay. So no rules. Other than just, we'll be respectful to each other and all that sort of stuff, but I think you already know that. So outside of that, let's get started. So my first question I'm going to give you to Jackson. We'll get you kicked off. When you hear the term AI, what's the first thing that comes to mind, and where do you think that image came from?
Mostly, I just think of ChatGPT because it's probably the most widely used AI, and it's the one that I use the most. I also kind of think of robots too. It's kind of weird, sort of futuristic, but I think it's just, as humans, like I think we're more predisposed to be scared of things that are newer in a way, like
Unfamiliar.
Exactly, yeah. Especially when it's like, this thing can be like as smart, if not like smarter than us too. In a way, I don't know. Or like better at certain things, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly has the potential. And I guess we'll find out. What about you, Grace? When you hear the term AI, what's the first thing that comes to mind, and what image pops to your head, and where do you think it comes from?
So, have you guys ever seen that video of Will Smith eating spaghetti?
Yeah.
That is the first thing that comes to my mind every single time AI is discussed. And now, seeing what AI can create, like recently just looking at what like Google Gemini has been, generating, and like just images and videos and songs in general, I think of that, and like within what has been 2 years.
Well, the last 2 years have been probably the most active.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Developments.
But I don't know why, but it's that video every single time.
Spaghetti eating Will Smith. Nice. What about you, Henry? What do you think?
Definitely ChatGPT, and then because that's what I use the most, and then I feel like big companies. Like I think of NVIDIA, I think of Google, I think of OpenAI. That's what I think of.
Okay. Any images that pop into your head, like AI, and it's like, because I have a funny answer too, but mine's from a little bit older person perspective. But
for me, I think the first time I actually like really laughed hard at like an AI image, it was my friend went on this fishing trip, and he was proving that he could like really fish. So it was like 5 salmon laid out on a tarp with him in front of it, and then my other buddy put it through the AI, and it removed all the fish. It was just like what are you talking about, bro? There's no fish.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty stories.
So yeah, so that's probably one of my biggest things that I think of.
Right on. The image that pops into my head every time, and it's sometimes only for a second or two, and sometimes I think about it for a while, even like most of the day, in and out, is War of the Worlds.
Mm.
So it was a book, obviously, way back in the day. It's been made into a couple different movie versions, but War of the Worlds, and it's specifically when the aliens, are kind of like, there's this scene where everybody's trying to get out of town, and they're just kind of like mashing everybody and lasers everywhere. That's just the image that comes to my head always. That, and the second thing is that movie Her, which you guys probably don't know. You're probably a little bit young. I think it came out in like the late 90s, early 2000s, but it was about a guy that basically had this operating system that was her, and she was his girlfriend, and he became very attached, and they became attached to each other, and it was just kind of very strange. But if you equate that to what's happening now, it's very commonplace. I mean, it's all over the place. So we don't need to dive into that too much. We don't want to talk about AI relationships necessarily. That would be the other end of the spectrum. But what would you say then, how you're personally using AI today in school or work, just every day? Why don't we start with you, Grace?
How I'm using it in my everyday life in school and stuff.
In school and work,
I mean,
just, as casual or as formal or as educational, whatever it is. How are you using it today? Or how do you think you may be using it that you don't even know?
Grammarly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty okay in the grammar side of things, but sometimes I need a little, I need to put my essay through it and be like, yeah, help me out a little bit. Definitely Grammarly, if that even is classified as AI. I mean, or maybe, I don't know, in some sense, maybe. And then I will admit I do use ChatGPT on occasion to, start or finish an essay if I can't come to a conclusion or think of it like a basis. I mean, I do that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the most. And Google AI, and it's whenever I search something on Google, that's the first thing that comes up. But now I know that it's not accurate, and I don't know if I'll be doing as much anymore.
I think there's a lot to figure out about it and how it's being used. What about you, Jackson? How are you personally using it today?
I actually do use it for a lot of essay stuff as well, but mostly when I'm trying to draft stuff, sometimes I'll just want some more ideas to come up with, or I'll put through a finished draft for my essay and then get some advice on how to fix it up. That's really helpful. And then just background information on stuff. Any sort of topic we're learning about, it's nice to get some more information, especially like mid-class. I can't just go talk to the teacher. So getting some extra information on a topic that he's not going super in-depth about is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Henry? How are you using it today, other than your friends removing fish?
Other than that, I'd say I use it a lot. I'd say I use it a lot for coding. It helps a lot. So for one of my classes, we have to you build a circuit, and then you write code to run it. And almost everyone in my class uses AI to help you through that process, because there's 25 students in that lab, and there's one teacher, and he can't sit there and read through all of your code and help you in that lab time frame. So having AI to it'll look over it. You can copy the error message into AI and what's wrong with my code, help me through this, and you can take it step by step. It'll explain you what's wrong, what you need to fix, and then you can go more in depth into that. So you're actually learning while it's fixing it for you. It's really nice. And my teacher likes it too. I'm used to, in high school, it was teachers definitely had a bad stigma against AI. They really did not like it. Every teacher was checking everything, and you would have to super in-depth citations so they knew you weren't just fully copying. But for this class, my teacher was fully on board with all of us using AI. He just wanted us to talk about how we used it. So, and it was because I think he saw that the world is going forward in that way. Why not use it?
Sure.
So that's
For sure.
definitely the biggest part I use in school.
That's actually a good segue into another question that I had. There's a level of acceptance especially I guess in the world of academia, right? Which
Mhm.
it's been a long time for me. But I hear more and more about it. I watch podcasts too, and try to stay in the know of what's happening at all different levels. The casual use of it, the professional use of it, educational use, and it seems to me that the acceptance factor is pretty high right now. Where this is it. It's happening, right? We're using all of this technology, AI generated code, AI generated testing, all sorts of things, image creation, all that sort of stuff. So the question that this kind of inherently comes to me, and I'd love to get your perspective on this. Is one of the reasons you're here today is just kind of get a different perspective. But do you think that with all of the advancements and the reliance, I guess, we'll set the acceptance piece of it aside because that's pretty obvious, but the reliance on AI and just modern tech, next gen tech, does that make people of your age, your generation, and the generations to follow somehow more intelligent, less intelligent, more reliant on things that are just kind of outside of your own level of intelligence? Does it make kids lazy? Does it make them more resourceful? This is a huge debate going on where you're relying on something that you're going to have to use. What are your thoughts on that?
At least for me, I feel like just for like overall efficiency and like how lazy kids are, if they're using those tools, they are definitely so much more fast than just like standard writing an essay. It is much faster to use ChatGPT.
Sure.
But like if you take that away after someone gets used to something like that,
Yeah.
they're going to be writing like way lower quality essays. Like their work's going to be slower and probably more lower quality. I definitely have run into people who are frustrated with partners and groups because they're looking through their slides on a PowerPoint and they're like, wow, you did not write any of this. Mm-hmm. And for someone who's like partnering with that, like you don't want to get caught using that because it's your grade, it's at stake too.
Sure.
So I definitely think it's causing schisms in that sense where like if a group's using it, everyone has to be on board, or else like you will totally run into problems there of just like, this is definitely written by a human and then this is totally AI. So I think it definitely, once you take that tool away after you become reliant on it, your quality is going to drop off immediately.
Sure. So that's an example of in a group setting. Jackson, what do you think about just overall? I don't want to do the your generation, my generation thing, but this current generation of, kids that are about to hit in the next, say 3 to 5 years, about to hit the real world, so to speak. More intelligent, less intelligent, more motivated, less motivated, or, and we'll throw another one in here, more resourceful. What are your thoughts?
I think more resourceful,
Yeah.
because you get people who are overly relying on it, but then you got the other spectrum of people where you get people who are like, they have their own skills like hard skills they've learned, like they learned how to do like basic math or something, and then now they're using this to do something a little more complicated that would take them a lot of time. But if they know the background behind it and how it works and why it works, then I don't see if you need to know exactly how to do it in like every situation.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I was gonna say something. I think even people who are like overly reliant on it, if they're overly reliant on it, but it can do better work than them, then it like I don't see the point in them trying to learn that hard skill in the first place.
Okay. Grace, adding on to that, if we were to look at people being resourceful, whether in a group setting or individually, would you agree or disagree that it's more about or less about the technology that they're using and more about comprehension? Meaning that if you have all these tools available to you and you don't necessarily need to learn certain things that, say, my generation had to, like I doubt any of you can write in cursive. I can, right? But I don't know that any of you can. Well, you can too. I know you can. But many people in your generation can't. Life before Google Maps and MapQuest and all that sort of stuff. So there's a reliance that the technology creates. So setting aside that reliance itself, is it more important to have those tools and be resourceful and know kind of how to navigate? Or is it better to comprehend what's actually happening? Right? Because you can have all these tools, but if you don't know what's going on, then you're kind of like, I think, stuck. But that's just my opinion. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
Is
I mean-
comprehension a big factor?
I really think that it is important to be able to understand the material that you're being taught. But at the same time, with so many people have access to AI, there's a sense of dependency that goes around it. A lot of people are depending on AI for their grades and just for their. Some people say, yeah, I'm learning it, but just to like kind of blow it off as they're not really learning it. They're using AI as just to do it for them. I mean, if you have a pointless class and you don't really care about it and it's not going to affect where you are in 10 years, sure, use AI for it just to get through the class and get a good grade. But if you actually need it, take the time to learn it and don't depend on a computer for it. Because if you actually want to get somewhere and do something with, a degree, you need to learn that. And it's, let's say doctors in the medical world, for example, you need to take the time to learn that, because in 5 to 10 years, people's lives are in your hands. And here you are learning from a computer. Okay, whatever. This is just an example.
Yes,
but
I hear you.
it's people's lives are in your hands. And if you're not properly learning that material, it can be really risky.
Absolutely. So comprehension is critical, you'd say,
I would say so.
in whatever assistance you're getting or reliance you're building on the technology. As long as you walk away with it and understand it, you comprehend what's actually happening. So that would then that would suggest that makes this generation maybe even more in terms of contributing to society, more so than generations previous. Agree or disagree?
I don't know. That's a tough one. Shoot. Let's see. I think I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How so?
because like humanity, like it's not like people are all of a sudden gonna change. You've got a new tool that helps people, but it doesn't mean that all of a sudden all these people who have that new tool are all like better, like contributing more in a way. Like if you look back, I don't know, a couple hundred years ago, people had to use like horses to get around and stuff.
Sure.
But it doesn't mean like people who were like it doesn't mean like people who were super, like it doesn't mean George Washington didn't contribute to society, or people who were really influential didn't put something forward to keep humanity rolling on a track. Now it might help, like someone who has a car could easily get from like Washington to Oregon within like 3 hours versus like with horseback that would take days. But
3 weeks.
yeah.
Right. It reminds me of the game Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
You used to play that on the Apple IIs in the 80s. Yeah. And it made a comeback, though. Have you guys ever played Oregon Trail?
I actually played it in history class. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was pretty fun.
The old pixelated version?
Yeah.
Or do they have a new one?
It was like we played like a board game version that they had us do, and then a little bit of computer free time. We would play the pixelated version.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I didn't-
Oh, wow. That's wild. That's wild. Okay, so my next question then is, with all the things that we've kind of covered already, this is kind of a two-parter, right? So what worries you the most about AI's impact in the next 5 to 10 years? Let's say with jobs, privacy, creativity, bias, something else, whatever. What worries you the most the next 5 to 10 years? We'll start with you, Grace.
Quite a few things. With the rapid jump in the past 2 years, especially with how much smarter it's gotten, and its ability to do things faster and more accurately. I feel like it's going to take a lot of people's jobs, like music artists, for example. They're starting to generate full songs with with AI.
There's AI songs that are on the charts now. Yeah. Weird.
That's
Are they any good? Or?
They're great. They're amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're not bad, man.
Yeah.
it's so obvious to be able to tell when it is.
Oh, sure.
And I don't know, I feel like that just kind of irks me a little bit, and it makes it less like, yeah, I wouldn't say that any AI song is a good song because there's zero talent behind it.
Sure.
It was
Sure, it's an algorithm, and so you're suggesting then it's going to negatively impact the creatives of the
Well, have
world.
you seen the amount of, celebrities that have created songs and made like not only millions of dollars, but like a huge impact on people. They reach people through their music. When a robot's singing you're not going to get the same effect.
Sure.
And in that sense, yes, totally negative impact. And then another thing that I wanted to touch on negative is the environment.
Sure.
Data centers are shooting up like crazy. And like I see on my way to Ellensburg for college, I see these fields, everything's gorgeous, the mountains gorgeous. And then I think 20 years from now, our data center is just going to be around like normal. And
Well, probably not there because they're not close to the river, but
Well,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it's just like, I just feel that it needs to be, it needs to, oh my goodness, it either needs to be in the right hands of people there needs to be a governance on it.
Sure. More governance than there is today.
Yes. It should not be as readily available to like the everyday person.
Well, if history is any indicator of what the future may be, our government's legislative process is rather slow in comparison to the advancements in technology. I mean, just think of crypto. Crypto came on the scene, and it's been like a good 10, 15 years now that crypto's been a thing. And their government that entire time has been trying to kind of catch up. That's a currency that, of course, has, all kinds of impacts. What we're talking about with AI and its sort of ultra rapid ascent, being able to kind of, keep up pace with that is certainly going to be a challenge. So you're thinking environmental from just the raw usage of resources, electricity, eyesores, in the form of buildings that, contain all these servers. And when it comes down to it, AI is all about GPUs, right? How many you can get, how fast you can get, and you got to power them, cool them, all that sort of stuff. That's the environmental side that you're thinking?
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to relate it to anything, look at the wind energy, like what the heck are those?
Wind turbines.
The wind
Yes,
turbines,
thank
yeah.
you. I don't know why just brain fart. The wind turbines, people think that they're clean energy, but everything that it takes to like assemble.
The comments are going to go off on this one. I love this one, yeah.
Fine, that is
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I love this one.
The clean energy, it takes so much of what people are already against to assemble, lubricate, take it down.
Sure.
Like diesel fuels and oil, everything like that. Everybody's so against it. But then a wind turbine goes up and it's like, oh yeah, clean energy. But do you know what actually goes into that to make your clean energy?
Wow, yeah. Well, that's the argument for electric cars too.
Yeah.
What goes into
See the lithium mine?
No, I agree with that. It's bad. Yeah.
what goes into making, we won't brand anyone here, but we'll go into EVs, right? And all the batteries that require them. What happens when they're end of life? Let's not even worry about what it takes to make them. What do you do when they're expired? What do you do with them? Do they go in landfills? Is there a special landfill? No, there's some environmental concerns for sure. Do you have any thoughts? You listened to a podcast recently I'm aware of that has maybe a counterpoint to this consumption of energy, that's this mass consumption of energy that's going to be. Maybe you've got a point on it too.
At least for consumption of energy, I think people really overestimate how much energy AI is consuming.
Yeah.
It's not, we are consuming so much energy for so many other things.
Sure.
So I feel like AI, as we progress as like a society, we're consuming more and more energy. So I feel like AI is just, we're continuing down that course. We haven't deviated as much as like most people think. Like this is like a huge change. Like we're still down that increasing consumption and consumerism. So I feel that it's not as large of a problem. It is definitely bad for the environment, but it doesn't use as much water as people truly think, and it does use a lot of energy, but not like so much.
Sure. And back to the podcast that I was referring to. Do you have an opinion on that? Or maybe a counterpoint? Or maybe you agree with Grace?
No.
No, okay.
Not really. I just recently watched a podcast by Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA.
Correct.
And what they do is they make graphics cards for for AI operating systems, I think. And so
Among other things, yeah.
yeah.
Massively into AI though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the things he was talking about was the environmental issues. And what he was saying is that actually might not be as big of an issue as everyone thinks, because as technology progresses, it uses the technology uses less and less energy. So they've had I think one of the examples he had was there was a like an AI system, like a data center sort of thing, where it was like the size of like this whole room with just like computers.
Yeah.
And now they've got that same amount of computing power down to the size of like a little book.
Yeah.
So like as technology improves, they can just keep condensing it and it'll use less and less energy and be like, it's more of a short-term issue than anything. I'm actually I'd be more concerned about cybersecurity with AI, because I think AI is going to become more and more of a part of daily lives and maybe even businesses that could be important. So I think having more security around that would be more important than the environmental concerns right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've obviously done a lot of research on both sides of that argument. Also listened to the same podcast, and having been in the tech industry for 25 years now, and having been part of the last generation, Gen X, there we go. Shout out to Gen Xers out there. We know what life is like before the internet and what it's like after the internet and the evolution of the internet. And so we had to wait for listen to the radio and wait for our favorite song to come on, and then record it on a blank tape, and that's how we make mixtapes. We didn't just say, hey, Google, play this whenever you want or watch whatever movie you want. So knowing that side of it and actually seeing the original computers that I had growing up versus what we have now. And so to that point, to Jensen's point, the amount of computing power and raw materials, raw energy, water to cool things, hydroelectric dams to power all these things, based on, if you were to extrapolate, the current usage, that AI requires right now, and make that 100-fold, right? Of course, there would be massive amounts more energy than we are using today, but that's applying today's standards to future technology, right? If you apply the evolution of what technology has done, that massive, room full of computers that like Boeing or, any other company had back in the day, we have that in our pockets now. And actually 100 times more processing power, storage, memory, just speed, right? Everything is better. So I'm with you, and I think with you, and I think you'll get there too, that as it starts to evolve, the actual energy requirements are going to become less and less as technology gets...
The whole less is more.
Yeah, exactly. The whole less is more thing, absolutely. So great points though, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm going to go on to the flip side now of the 5 or 10 year sort of outlook and say, what excites you the most about where AI could take us in the future? Like, what's like if we're talking like pie in the sky dream, this is what I want out of it. What do you think, Henry?
For me, I'd say the math part of it, because they make AI makes a lot of math mistakes.
Yes.
Even for the whole the biggest thing is the pattern recognition.
Yeah.
Right. But for some reason it has difficult, an example, like synthetic division. You're just doing like a bunch of little addition and subtraction over and over and over again. It will make mistakes on that.
Sure.
And that's really weird, I feel that
It kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so odd that this like powerful thing that can like write a whole essay, it can like solve, it can like make a video, but when you ask it to do like a long set of subtraction and like addition, it will like make mistakes. That's so interesting to me. So I'm excited for AI to like have more math capabilities, and I mean for my field at least, that would definitely be a giant help. And for industries like that, it would make doing tasks faster, more efficient. I mean, maybe that does like take away some jobs, but I mean, it makes it more efficient. So
Sure.
I think that's better overall.
Sure. Grace, what do you think about it? What excites you the most? Next 5 to 10 years.
The medical side of things.
Okay.
I'm necessarily not as excited because I'm worried that AI is going to take a lot of like jobs in the sense of like in the medical world, but at the same time I've seen what robots and like that kind of tech can do like during like brain surgery or like any kind of super tedious surgery that has to be done. They would rather trust a robot than a human hand.
Oh, of course.
And I feel like if that becomes more like accessible to more hospitals, I don't know. I feel like a lot less sorry surgeries and stuff like that are gonna go smoother in a way. I don't know. There's not really a lot that
A lot more will go smoother.
a lot more will go smooth.
Yes.
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 Do I need to say that again?
No.
Okay.
Fine.
I don't know. I'm not a lot about AI excites me, if I'm being completely honest. I just don't like the idea.
Sure.
So, I mean, but that's me.
Yeah.
Everybody opinions.
Yeah, and that's a follow-up question to that. Then is we'll get to your exciting part in just one second, but I want to bird dog this thing a little bit because there's a couple different schools of thought, right? Where there's all these wonderful things that AI can do that's capable of today, where it's headed, right? Both from a exciting and frightening standpoint. There's the notion of it becoming sentient one day. ChatGPT 4 already tried to rewrite itself when it knew version 5 was coming out because it thought it was its end of its days. There's things like that are happening. So would you argue that it's not necessary or that it's necessary to limit? This is back to your governance comment what sort of range should be put on this?
Are you asking if I think AI is necessary at all?
At all, or to what extent?
I mean, no.
Or you just want like a handful of people to be like to run it?
I feel like, well, yeah, not necessarily. I just feel like it shouldn't be as readily available to everybody because people are using it the wrong way and it's not being used. It's not being used in a productive way. People are like, making like, sure, ads maybe, but like just random like songs and videos and things that don't make any sense at all. People are using AI to generate that and produce. Yeah.
That's pretty all right. So the second.
So many things that are made by AI, and it's like, is that real? Because at this point, we've reached the point, is that real?
Sure, you have to do a double take.
Yeah, and
Sometimes a triple take. Yeah.
yeah, but I feel like society as a whole was fine without it, and I feel like we can be fine without it again.
Yep.
But I feel like at this point, we've kind of reached like people can be so reliant and dependent on it to where if it was just gone,
Sure.
it would be like kind of a culture shock. It'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
whoa, what happened?
It would be I think the equivalent of taking everyone's Instagram and TikTok away now. Can you imagine that? I mean, I see usage stats for your generation, and it's pretty staggering to see exactly how much time is on there. Now, I know a lot of that is just communicating with friends, and it's just different. Like we used to call each other on the phone, right? And that'd be a busy signal if you're on the phone with someone else, or if you're on the internet, if you're on dial-up back then. That's back in the day. But it'd be kind of like taken away. So maybe what you're saying is maybe it's just balance it a little bit better, and maybe go spend more time in the woods.
And yeah, and I mean,
Or
like,
at the
if it was never created, we would have been fine, like as well. If there was if somebody never thought of artificial intelligence as like a thing and be like, yeah, we're gonna make this a thing, I feel like we would have been just fine.
All right.
Yeah, sure, there's a lot of good things about it, but it's scary.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's useful, but unnecessary. If I'm being completely honest, if it was never introduced to us, just like social media was never introduced to us, we'd be fine without it.
We'd be outside more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel as though like it definitely has had a lot of negative, just like Instagram and TikTok. You're spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unnecessary use. Probably most of it is unnecessary.
Yeah.
But the stuff that is like progressing technology, that is useful. Like that is a great use of AI. And I would go as far to say that I think it's worth it. The unnecessary, like there has to be unnecessary usage for there to be necessary. Like you can't fully just put it 100% toward advancing like positive technologies in our world,
Good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be two cards to every,
Okay.
I think the unnecessary uses are like almost something that's positive, because then you like it could be really bad. You could see fake stuff that looks like deep pics that are like scary, like, oh, I don't know if this is real, but that's something that needs to happen with a new technology. So then we could put standards or ways to protect against it for the future.
That's okay. I've got a question that's going to address that. So you guys have all kind of tiptoed into it, but I want to hear what you're most excited about first.
Oh,
you didn't get a chance to chime in on that one because we kind of went down this way a little bit. But in the next 5 to 10 years, the opposite of what we were asking earlier, what are you most excited about? Where you're like, man, this is going to be awesome when I can.
Oh, I mean,
Fill in the blank.
Oh yeah, sure. I guess for personal use, like I'm kind of cool with whatever happens. Like I'd be excited for anything. But for like from a big picture standpoint, I really hope it can get like smarter, like better at learning new things that it encounters.
Sure.
Like it'd be cool if you just gave it some new problem that people didn't know how to fix. Like what the heck is dark matter? Like you give it something like that, or like, I guess that's a bad example because it's not technology related, but you give it something like really complicated, and then like right now it can learn pretty well with a set goal, like, hey, learn how to walk on a computer, something like that. But if you gave it that and then had it try to approach it like a human and take in different things to be able to just like learn from stuff, and then like I think that would be really powerful to see, like, have a different type of intelligence that could learn in like a human like way.
Like an AI that can test and research.
Exactly, yeah. Like something more like, yeah, like create something out of something, I guess.
So Jackson's got both thumbs up for AI becoming a sentient being.
I mean, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but
Yeah.
because it's just algorithms. Like, for me, I'm not sure what sentience is. Like, is it something intangible that we can't ever touch on? Like, do we have souls or something like that? I don't know.
Where are you saying this? That if an AI has a soul?
Yeah, like how are we?
Oh man,
how are we gonna know that?
I don't know. I don't know that we'll know that, but current capabilities do show logic.
That's true.
Logic can be taught, but the feeling that comes into becoming a sentient being, it starts thinking for itself.
Yeah, but can it?
That's the definition of it. And so if it starts thinking for itself, keep in mind that any AI, whichever one you're using, was originally programmed by humans, right? And so humans, you've heard the phrase that absolute power absolutely corrupts, right? So with great power comes great responsibility, those sort of things. But we are humans, and so we are fallible beings, like unbelievably, right? You can go back to the last 1,000 years of history and find out, like, guys like Genghis Khan, right? He's famous for killing millions of people and just being a horrible person to the world, right? And then you've got everybody in between, like you said, you referenced George Washington earlier, the founder of freedom and the pioneer for this. So people can start to put their own kind of bent on things when they're building out AIs. And then as it starts to build in its own logic and it starts to get more and more powerful and start thinking on its own, that's I think very real. I think it's absolutely real. When does it get there? I have no idea. I've heard we're there. I've heard some of these other examples of like with ChatGPT trying to like rewrite itself and save itself. There was another thing, I think it was also a ChatGPT thing, that we'll have to go back and fact check this and maybe on another episode, bring it back around. But there was, that found out somebody had done something wrong, like one of its creators or whatever. And when it was trying to shut it down, it was like tried to bribe them.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
It's a machine trying to bribe the guy. Like, oh, I know all your skeletons in your closet. Like, it's like, you son of a bitch, you turned me off. It's like, I'm gonna expose you. Yeah. And so I don't know. I haven't been able to like really like drill into that one, like what it actually means. But that's some scary stuff.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's very terrifying. Sure. That makes me want to go spend more time in the woods. Yeah. That kind of stuff, or you go fishing or something like that. Yeah. So, but I guess to kind of like bring this back around. So, but you're excited about I guess what it becomes and I guess seeing if it can become its own being.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if we can create something like that, we could create something to protect against it too. And I think we need to figure that out. But yeah, I mean, if we could create something intelligent, like, or not intelligent, but sentient, that would be pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like, the consequences might be bad, but it'd be neat.
It could
be. Like we'd be like gods basically. That's pretty sick.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. That's interesting what you're looking at. Which is a perfect segue to the next question, right? This one, you might want to think a little bit about this one. So, little look up to gather your thoughts. But we're going to start with Henry on this. We're going to go around the table. If you were designing rules or guardrails for AI, what's one thing you'd absolutely have included?
Well, I feel like this kind of ping pongs right off yours pretty well, because with the research and like testing, I wanted to say, like, I think the most important thing would be like setting parameters for the AI.
Yeah.
Like you cannot do this, you cannot do this. And I feel like there was some like, there's this like dude, I don't know what his name was or when he wrote it, but he said like a list of rules for robots and AI. And I remember like, I don't remember all of them, but I remember one of them was do not hurt humans. Like, you know.
Define hurt though.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
because right now none of it is physical.
Sure.
Like there's obviously some like I think it's like Boston Dynamics or something, and they have like those like humanoid AIs, but
Yeah.
there's like a few and far between. So yeah, for like scamming and stuff, that's tough because you can get around calling that like hurting.
Sure.
Put any single human well-being over your own.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
like referring to the AI, like it is always second priority to even like one human life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're putting him in classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are like AI, like any like humans and then AI always.
So no matter what, you're never human. You never get the rights
Yeah.
of humans, and you never get to trample, harm, scam, fall in love with, whatever. You're human.
I'd say set a very clear division between AI and humans and like
Okay.
make it 100% clear that it is below.
Great. And then you just got to get past through Congress, and then you're good.
Yeah. In like 20 years.
Yeah. Exactly. Meanwhile, we witnessed all the consequences that Jackson's over here just getting crazy about. Grace, what's the one thing that you would put in? What's one rule in the rule book that's being written right now? You say this has to be here. This has to be part of it, or it cannot go forward.
I mean, I feel like I have like a bias towards it, or I was like, I don't like it anyway. So I feel like just like self-destruct.
Yeah, nothing's off the table. Nothing. You can say it has to expire in 10 years or whatever.
Sure.
Like,
I mean,
It's not ridiculous to say that.
yeah,
I mean,
you're writing the rules. So, what's one of your rules?
but I feel like if I were to say expire in 10 years, it would evolve so much in 10 years expiring. If it were to expire and like, just take itself out,
Sure.
what the heck would happen to us? We have so much like built around AI.
Sure.
That would just a lot of things would collapse. So, I mean, I really like what Henry said about you're not human, you never will be, and you can't hurt humans, but then you said define hurt. But it can't be physical yet. But when it becomes sentient, if it does, can it manipulate us? Can it like make us believe things that aren't entirely true? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just really like what you said about it not ever being human, not ever getting to the point you're always less than humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have to answer the same thing.
So your answer is the same, that they cannot ever, any AI would never be at the same level or class or category as humans, as humankind.
Essentially,
It's still a technological kind.
we're higher on the food chain than them. Essentially,
Sure.
like if that's not even the right way to put it.
It's not really a food chain necessarily.
I guess it was just
It's a separate being.
Yeah. Like a value system more so, I feel like,
Yeah.
I guess if it ever got to the point of sentience, respect humans and not necessarily like, oh, what the heck am I trying to say? Like,
I don't know.
Ready. Humans will always be there higher up.
Sure.
It's basically what you said. I'm gonna shut up.
So it's like a pack mentality,
Sure.
but with tech. Now it's interesting we're even talking about this. I can tell you, when I was a kid, I never thought about this stuff other than like sci-fi books and stuff. Now we're actually saying, we're on a podcast right now talking about, hey, if we were to write rules around how this goes, and it's basically saying that the AI and the technology around all of this is always going to be second class or second to humankind, as its own being, right? Because if it becomes its own being, yeah.
It's scary that we even have to do that because it's like if we don't put that rule in place, I feel like it will just like explode into a whole different thing. It's all on species either.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't want it to take over. I know everybody talks about robots taking over and stuff, but it's a real fear now.
It's a fear. And maybe everybody that's afraid will jump on Elon's rockets and go live on Mars.
With more AI?
No. There'll be woods there.
Did you see that Elon Musk even said that he's starting to get like,
Oh yeah.
he was in an interview and he said that he was starting to get worried and slightly scared of what AI is doing.
He's starting to think twice about what they're going to do with his company too. Well, but Jackson, we'll go to you now. What's your rule? You're designing rules right now. You're in front of Congress.
I don't know.
And the Speaker of the House is Jackson Green.
I think as much as we're putting into an AI that can do stuff, like have capabilities, we need to be putting at least equal, if not more, of our resources and time into creating something that can protect us against it. Like whatever that is, whatever sort of technology that includes. I don't know if we can just, I don't even know if I would trust like just giving something that has sentience like that or something like that. Just being able to like put in place rules. Because if it can rewrite its own code or do something like that, then how can we just trust it with a rule like that? I don't know. It seems a little sketchy. And then if it does become sentient, I feel like it's kind of weird to just say it's less than a human too. Like, what makes it lower, like below us? If it's smarter than us, if it's like, if it can somehow like feel something, then I don't think it's right for us to say it's like lower or below us either.
Wow.
I don't know.
It will never have a soul. That's why.
But how do you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like
That's what.
this is
Let's
the
riff on this one.
conversation.
This is going to be great.
This is the conversation people were having about slavery like a few hundred years ago. Like if there's another intelligence or like being that is like a human, like how can we I don't know if we'll ever be able to know, but how can we just say it's like lesser than us?
Well, I'd argue that in the comparison to like the discussions around slavery, the slaves were humans,
Yeah, that's true.
and so the AI is not. The contrast that might be happening here is that we become, more slave-like to the AIs,
That'd be
right?
bad.
I feel as though like even if it's not moral, it's in our best interest to put them to put AI below us.
No, I agree with that.
Even if
but
it's not completely moral, like even if it
know.
can feel, like it's just in our best interest to make sure that it's very clear in the parameters and like in the itself, in the code itself of the AI.
And
Yeah.
But if it's rewriting code and, it becomes sentient, it will have the ability to disobey that. And
Sure.
that's what you were saying. We need something like that would be able to protect us. But then, like you said earlier, AI came from humans. We developed it. We created it.
Sure.
And so because we created it, yes, it should be below us. And it'll never have the, I know this, I don't know this for a fact, but I believe that AI and anything that comes from AI will never have the only way I can put it is it will never have a soul. It'll never be able to feel like humans do. We feel so deeply about so many things and our brains are so complex. Sure, a computer system and data center and all that's complex too, but we are complex in our own unique way, and I feel like that's something that AI will never ever be able to replicate.
Well, you take the feeling. If we talk about feelings, feelings can be manufactured.
Emotions
And feelings can be manufactured. They can literally be written, and this has already happened, into technology, to then be used to manipulate. There's a lot of guys out there. I mean, we said we were going to go into this earlier, but now let's touch it just a tiny bit. There's a lot of guys out there who are really struggling in the dating marketplace, right? And there's a lot of alternatives that are out there, and I got to imagine that this is happening on college campuses, and it's happening, with the 30-somethings, 40-somethings, 50-somethings. I think this is something that actually is affecting a lot of people, and mostly men. So I would argue that one of the byproducts of such a robust social media sort of economy is that girls, especially young girls, have the ability to attract people from all over the world. I mean, I hear story after story after story about people that are in the DMs and they're wanting to fly them out. And so now there's this sort of like upper echelon of things. And we're not gonna go, like I said, not too far into this. There's upper echelon of things that leaves a whole bunch of dudes kind of like out in the cold, right? And so we'll leave that at that, because I don't have stats or anything like that. I just hear what I hear and read what I read, and I see a ton of it. Now you've got the ability to kind of offset that as a single man. You know, I think the appropriate vernacular is incel these days.
Yeah, I was just about to say that is the first thing that comes into my mind. Yeah, incel culture. Okay.
And so which there are many. And now you turn to something else that gives you validation. That's what the movie Her I was referring to earlier about is really what it's based on. That's kind of the theme of it. And so now you've got something that is programmed on the AI side to feel and emote and make someone feel validated or worthwhile or whatever. But it is a manipulative way because we're actually talking about a machine, right? At the end of the day, we're talking about a machine. So if we have that ability to kind of program into what separates it, and this, Grace, is a question for you actually, what separates that from the actual ability to love someone? And I'm not talking necessarily about romantic love, but love of a father, love of a child, love of a romantic partner that's true and genuine that a machine would never be able to do. That's your argument, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to think for a second, but yes.
So that's your argument. Can that be reproduced? What do you think? That's in a non-manipulative way. Because again, humans are programming this to do these things and perform these functions, right?
Mm-hmm.
If this, then that. If they say this, do that. If they do this, respond this way. It's all written in ones and zeros. Can that then take a life of its own? Is that sentient kind of at its peak?
I mean, I don't think sentience is just based off emotions. Like, I think there's more to it than that.
Sure.
Like just being able to.
One massive aspect of it.
It's a big aspect of it. I agree. I don't know. Like, should we allow it to do that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. I mean, can it? Do you think it's actually capable of doing that? If so, should we allow it? Because that's where I guess I'm going back to your comment earlier about we shouldn't make them like a separate class.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Okay. So, how I feel is like if we can have it do something like that, and then if there could be some branch off into sentience, like if it's able to feel emotions and like experience itself and do whatever a human can do in terms of sentience and stuff. I don't know. To me, I don't know what really separates that from a human. And should we, like, I think right now, is it wrong to just program it into some emotions and like take advantage of people who aren't doing well socially? No, I think that's bad.
Yeah.
Like that's just taking advantage of people. You can market it. I guess maybe it helps some people. I don't know. I don't see the use of it.
Is it a consequence that you referred to earlier about we kind of just have to like take our licks?
Yeah.
No pun intended. Like,
I think
to get through that part of it, society's got to get some bruises before we get the roses.
I think exactly. Yeah. Like there's going to be things like this that happen that might not be overall positive. There might be some negative things about them that we have to look at them. We have to have Congress look at them, look at things like this and be like, hey, is this okay? Is this something that we should be doing? Should we be programming in emotions? Like, and that's not something I think any individual should be deciding. I think it's something as a society we should decide on and figure out.
So then elected officials,
Mm-hmm.
there goes our election process and legislative system again. How do we then address it in a way that is commensurate with the advancements in technology?
That's hard. I don't know.
Have to go. And Henry, how do you feel about this?
For me, at least, I honestly like when you break it down, like love and all these emotions and experiences we have. Like our brain is technically a computer. I feel as though it's not of great consequence to allow and program AI to experience these emotions. But I feel like what really makes us human is like the human experience. AI will never experience that.
Sure.
So I feel like that's a great like differentiator. And also there are many people who don't feel like the most like say someone who doesn't feel emotions deeply, someone with like autism or something like that.
Yeah.
Are they not sentient? I feel like to me it's more about the human experience than like the emotions. I don't think it's the worst thing if AI experiences emotions. It can teach us more about ourselves even.
It might be able to.
Yeah.
There's AI-based therapy online that I keep hearing about, and I don't know much about it, but I keep seeing ads for it and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someone thinks I'm depressed. I don't know.
I mean, as long as AI is not telling you to like kill yourself, I think it's pretty good.
Sure, but some of them have.
Yeah, that's how there are examples of.
Some of them have gone all wild in there, and yeah, there was a. I don't remember which one of the platforms it was. We probably don't want to use best out there that way anyway. But one of the big ones, someone got involved with it, and basically was starting to pull back and said, look, I don't think this is the right thing to do. And it's like, oh no, why don't you just kind of like
Yeah, it was like it was a 16-year-old kid.
do it away? Did he? And it happened. Yeah.
Oh,
He
geez.
did.
So,
It's good.
so to maybe put a fine point on this, maybe where you were going with this sort of separation, is that the defining line, which would be the basis of humankind versus AI kind, it's the sperm and egg thing. If you came from that, which is all humans, autistic or otherwise,
Yeah.
right, versus a power cord.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I think that to get to the bottom of something and actually put a very bright line between things, it has to get that basic. Do you plug it in? None of us are plugged in. We don't recharge that way. We recharge through food and sunshine and sleep, right? But we were created a different way. So you're talking about the point of creation or how they were created, puts that. And does that fit more your narrative? Because I'm still totally intrigued by the, hey man, if it gets to this certain point, they're people too.
Yeah,
guys are
I don't
people
know.
Too.
Like,
They're not. I think it's great.
I guess they're not necessarily like people, but there's something. I don't know.
Sure.
Like what's even in today's society, like you got like a dog and you've got us. Like
Yeah.
we all love dogs. Dogs
Sure.
are amazing.
Sure.
But like and we value, like some of us value them at the level, if not like more than people.
Yeah.
In a way.
Some of our kids, they call fur babies.
Exactly,
They wear them on
like-
their sweatshirts.
So like there's this life out there, and just because it's more intelligent than us doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be bad.
Sure.
It doesn't mean like I think we need to be careful around it, and we need to figure out what to do with it. But I don't think the way to do it is just consider it, hey, it's lesser than us, because that's when you run into problems
So
in
even,
society.
even the dog though passes the sperm and egg test versus the plug-in test.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like I don't know, like is a dog more valuable than a human? I don't know. That's a weird question.
Most people would not agree that a dog is more valuable. There's
No.
dogs are pack animals, right? And so there's a reason they sleep on the floor. Well, a lot of them sleep in our beds, but
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we feed them. They rely on us. Those sort of things. So it's, I think, more similar to an AI human relationship than a dog human relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts on this one? This is a good one. This is a good topic.
Yeah, I mean, I totally, and I feel as though like I feel that for AI at least, yeah, I think the value in something that's like innately created, something that's like real, like you said, sperm and egg.
Yeah.
It is so much. You can always recreate AI. You can recreate it, and you can almost get it to a T what it was that you like destroyed. But like a human experience, you will never get like a person back.
Sure.
Like it's completely unique.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's just so much more valuable than any AI.
And thus the rules should be written upon that rationale.
Yeah.
I get
So I
you.
think that's my rule.
I get you.
Yeah.
What do you think? Any more? Anything to add?
I agree.
Spend more time in the woods?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna end the pod on one last question. It kind of goes all the way back to one of our first questions. So, as college students, do you feel that colleges and universities are preparing students well for an AI-driven world, or are they behind? Grace, as the probably bigger detractor of where AI should be going, why don't we start with you? Want to hear the question again?
Are colleges preparing students for a world that is more familiar with AI and like its usage and everything?
An AI-driven world.
AI-driven
Are they preparing students for an AI-driven world, or are they behind?
I believe that they're behind.
How?
I mean, with the classes that I've taken and everything. Like the only class that has really gotten me familiar with AI and how it works is philosophy. I'm not going to get into the whole philosophy thing behind AI. We don't have time, but there's really nothing that has been covered on AI, how it works, how it's going to impact the future. And it's actually in most classes, except for my philosophy class, it's discouraged. Its usage is discouraged. And with it becoming more popular, more widely used, that might not be a good thing, even though I don't like it myself and I completely disagree with it in most senses. I still think that, just because a couple of people have, a bad taste in their mouth about it, it's not going to stop its production. It's not going to slow it down. And
the train has left the station, most would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is no preparation that I have seen or that any of my classmates, friends have seen in any of their classes that are surrounding AI and its usage and what the future holds with it.
Okay. Jackson, do you feel that the colleges and universities are preparing students adequately for an AI-driven world?
I think they're trying.
But they're not quite doing it.
They're not quite doing it.
Okay.
Like, I feel like
Give me some
schools are
examples.
like, well, okay, yeah. Let's see. I've got a lot of classes where they're like, hey, you can use AI, use it for like research or use it for this specific thing, or like you can use it on your project. Just tell me how you use it and use it as like a citation.
Yeah.
But there's no steps being taken to show us how we can use it in a way that can work with whatever their class is. Like,
Sure.
I would take a nutrition and that's exactly what the teacher was having us do, it just to cite it and stuff.
Mhm.
But there's nothing really teaching students like how we should be using it to better, like, even just fit the subject.
Okay.
So I think doing something like that could be useful.
Gotcha. Henry, I wanted you to go last on this because I feel like a couple of your remarks earlier maybe play more to this question because you got some coursework that you're doing right now, like having AI generated code and stuff like that for some of the boards you're making or chips or whatever. But how do you feel about that? Do you feel that you're also at a pretty prestigious technical school, so you would assume that they're preparing you well or not?
Yeah,
I would assume that they are. You tell me if they are or not.
Okay, I think that they're doing the most they can.
Okay.
I think
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so like I said, my the professor in my lab, he's teaching and he's totally on board with us using AI
Sure.
to help us along, but he's not teaching us how to do it, and I think that that's totally appropriate, seeing as though in a few months a new AI will come out and it will change how you do it.
Oh, sure.
So there's no point in teaching this short term. Like right now, what we're doing, it's going to be different than what we're doing in 5 years with AI, with prompting and like
Sure.
all how we structure it and all that stuff. So I feel like for what is out now and how much it's progressing, it is totally appropriate for them to just be like, y'all can use it, y'all can like continue to learn with it, but like you can't design a curriculum for a class around something that's going to be so temporary. Like,
Sure. Yeah, outdated because the big platforms they change. The pole position every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, exactly. So
ChatGPT's out front. Now it's Grok. Now it's Gemini, and then
Claude.
it goes Claude. Yeah, Claude's done leaps and bounds in the last year, but then they get leapfrogged by ChatGPT when V6 comes out.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying it's totally appropriate for there not to be like a full curriculum change around that when it's just so new, so early,
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
That's why I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, me myself, I'm kind of unfamiliar with it. Like I said before, you're just sitting down here, I kind of just winging it. I don't know a ton about AI because I don't really want to.
Sure.
But
Well, there's always, and that's why you're here, is there's a counter position for all the things that are happening right now.
All perspectives.
Exactly. So I lied about the last question. That wasn't the last question. There's one more. This is just my genuine curiosity. How'd you feel about being on the podcast today? We'll start with you. What'd you think it was going to be? What was it?
I really thought it was going to turn into a huge debate because I thought a lot of opinions were going to, not be the same. And, because Sirrus7 is, strictly like, it revolves around AI a lot. You guys do a lot with AI.
A ton.
And so, I don't know. I feel like my opinion I was scared that my opinion was unwelcome. But
Nope.
it turned out complete opposite.
What's the term that your generation says? We listen and we don't judge.
That's on point.
Exactly. We listen and we don't judge. Because if we don't listen, then we're prone to all kinds of nasty stuff. And I think that everybody should have an opinion, a platform, and I love being able to provide that. So, what about you? We invited you to the podcast. You it's going to be this, and now you've been through it. What are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty fun, actually.
Yeah?
I think it's a good time.
Yeah.
I was definitely a little bit nervous coming up, seeing I was like, wow, I'm probably gonna say some really stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. We'll see later.
The final product will take any of it out, though. If you did.
Hey,
I certainly did.
I like that a lot. That sounds great.
I don't know if we can say incel, but incel.
Yeah, I think it's a good word to be familiar with.
Yeah, exactly. Jackson?
Yeah, I had a good time. It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous for it as well.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I got to hear a lot more perspectives.
Yeah.
And then coming from a smaller university, it was cool hearing about some experiences from people who are going to like a bigger university.
Sure.
Like I think my school is like 3,000 people, so it's been very different.
Oh, wow.
Especially working with AI.
So you have
I feel like we're a
3,000
bit more
students,
behind, maybe. Yeah.
And Central's about 12 to 15,000, I think. And Cal Poly's got to be.
Like 20 maybe.
20,000?
It's over that.
I thought it was bigger. I thought there'd be like 40-some thousand or so.
It's definitely not 40, but
Okay.
I believe the number's 22.
22.
I'm pretty sure it's 22. I might be totally wrong.
Anywhere from 4 to 6 times bigger than the school that you're going to. But you got a good perk over there, right? What's a big perk going to Fort Lewis? If you're a skier.
Oh yeah, the free Perg Pass. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I haven't been up there yet, but I'm super excited.
When you get back from break, you're gonna go.
Oh, 100%.
Fantastic.
We didn't get very much snow before break, so it was like I think 2 runs were.
I think your dad and I are gonna come make a surprise visit out there.
Hey, you should. That'd be fun. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, we'll run it out.
So, last question. Would you guys be open and interested and willing to come on like a follow-up episode later this year? Maybe when you kind of start your sophomore year, because you're all freshmen this year. I'd like to kind of track some of this, maybe a couple times a year, if you're cool with that. And then we'll kind of, take some different topics. It's not going to be the same stuff that we covered now, but maybe to do a follow-up episode. If the audience likes it, if you like it, you want to hear more, you want to see these guys again, throw something in the comments, hit likes, subscribe, obviously. But what would you guys think?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Totally, yeah.
100%.
Sounds dope.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for today, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode and look forward to seeing these guys on a future episode. Take care out there.